This is a PowerMac G4 mirrored door tower computer. And in this video I'm going to show you how to simply remove the heatsink, the processor, the logic board, so that you can install a new one. When you install a new one, you're pretty much doing the reverse. First you'll install the logic board, the processor, and the heatsink. There's not a lot of screws here. There's a screw here for the logic board. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws for the heatsink. There aren't any screws for the processor. You remove this little plastic goodie, and you can remove the logic board. So here, let's get started. First we can remove the power supply. This is the fan, power on switch. If you have a hard drive, that was for the hard drive. This is for another fan. Remove the memory. You have the memory in here. Okay. It's good to have a little container to put your screws in. So I'm just going to remove the first screw to the logic board. It's a shorter screw. There's not a lot of screws in this, so it's not that hard to remember what the screws. These screws are a little longer on the heatsink. There's 4 screws that are a little bit longer that you can use. A medium size Phillips screwdriver. It's another one. Here's a smaller one. This one's already a little loose. It's a smaller screw. So then you can remove the heatsink. Here's the processor. When you reseat the processor, you probably want to put some more thermal adhesive on the processor. So you pull it from the back. Okay, it's off. You can see the connectors. Then you remove the little plastic goodie. And you'll just slightly push this back and take out the logic board. That's pretty simple. So if you were going to install a logic board, pretty much just seat it back in there. You can screw it back in. So get the screw over here. It's a little larger. Got the plastic, little plastic. Gently press down on the processor to seat it back in place. Okay, it should be pretty well seated back in place there. Once we put the heatsink back on, and more securely seat the processor down. should put, I'm not going to turn this on, but you should put more thermal adhesive on the heat sink. The top of the processor. Top of the microprocessors. I'm not doing that in this video. This is just how to take. Put back the memory. Whatever video cards you may have in here. And that's pretty much it. This is a video on how to install a logic board in a PowerMac G4 mirrored door. This one's a 1.25 gigahertz. So you take the logic board, and there's only one screw here. So you're going to push the logic board underneath this communications fax modem card. Screw back in the logic board. Put back in the plastic holder for the processor. Then when you take the processor, one of the important things, you're going to seat it onto this little clip and socket. It's got to be real careful. You're going to make sure that your processor will go under these two little metal holders, otherwise you won't be holding it down. You won't hold down the processor, and it probably won't turn on. I'm not going to turn on this at the moment, but you're going to want to apply more thermal adhesive goop on top of the processor before you turn it on. But in this video I'm not going to be turning it on, I'm just showing you how to install it. Okay, so then we're going to put the heat sink back on top, and there's some screws. There's two in the front. One in the back. These are longer screws. And there's a shorter one in the back. So now you're ready to. That's all you need to do. So that's pretty simple.